welcome to Ben and Matt's Saturday Night Live. Coming to you again from our homes. And thank you for joining us wherever you are, joining us from around the world. Not only in Manchester, we have fans from around the world that join us. That's what's so good about this show and other shows that we do. Matt, how are we today, fella?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Did you get up to much today, pal?
Football this morning. And then just chilled this afternoon, caught up with the other sort of Premier League games and lower league games that have been going on. So, yeah, away they are. Colin, was the pair of them have just arrived on cue. Them two's like Jedward.
I know. I was about to say the same thing.
Jedward, Robert and Gareth, 1 and 2.
Oh, I don't know. What legends. What legends they are. Thank you for joining us, Gareth and Robert, as always.
Who's Smith?
Yeah, exactly. Right then, Matt. Straight into it, pal. Bristol City tomorrow in the old WSL. How are we feeling for this one?
Do you know what? I don't know. It's one of them. It's a potential tricky tie with like a dodgy pitch. Not the greatest of pitches. It's obviously rained today as well. But I don't like excuses. So, just my thoughts. But I think, gonna go in there confidently. I think we should be able to get the job done. But listen, I've said that against Reading and we lost. I've said that against other teams and we've struggled. So, yeah, I don't know. It's one, like I say, we should have enough. Leah's back now. Obviously, she got on last game. Alessia's back, but we're not risking her, which is a good call. So, even though that's the case, like I say, we still got quartered. They are fighting for their lives. And obviously, Villa got another point against Birmingham. So that potentially puts Bristol, well, I think, in fact, it does not potentially, it definitely does put Bristol bottom. And Bristol have got 2 games. They've got ourselves and then they've got another game. So, yeah, potentially tricky. Like I say, they're fighting for their lives and they will need points. But, yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? Just get the job done against Everton and then go into the FA Cup fresh and ready to attack that.
That's the danger, though, isn't it? They're fighting for their lives. And any team that's scrapping for their lives will always be a dangerous opponent to play. Aside from Ebony Salmon, what is there, or is there a key dangerous player that people that may not know could look out for, or we need to look out for? Because I know you're a lot more into it than I am.
Yeah. I mean, they've got a couple, haven't they? Obviously, everybody knows Amy Palmer and what she can do. She's got a range of brilliant passing. Obviously, you mentioned Nebs there. Her pace always causes us multiple issues. Yana Daniels is okay. She's sort of hot and cold. She can be good one week and absolutely terrible the next. Molly Pike's not bad in midfield. She's somebody I've watched in the England youth games on loan from Everton. Yeah, I think, good evening to John as well. But yeah,
Stu Woolley actually joining us for. I think that must be the first time he's ever joined us on the show. What a legend Stu Woolley is, by the way.
Yeah.
He's a good lad. And what's this? What's he saying now? Big up Amy Norwich. Oh, no, not for this game. No, Gareth, come on, lad.
But yeah,
all about United.
There's a couple that could potentially cause issues, but does it worry me? Not really. But like I say, we've said this before and not turned up. So and obviously there was that time. Was it December when we played them and Ebbs got in and they scored. So listen, they're still scoring past us. So we've got to be on our guard. We really have.
Absolutely, mate. I know what Vixen's put up here, scored a first goal and they should collapse. I still think we score 2 or 3 goals to put it to bed, mate. Even if we do score 1-0, as I said before, because they're fighting for their lives, you're playing a very dangerous team. We've been here before with Bristol City, haven't we? Let's not be fair with Ebby Salmon last season. So it's not all done and dusted. Even if we do get that first goal, I think we need to score 2 or 3 very, very quickly to put this game to bed. I don't know what your feelings are on that.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think if you look at the last game when we scored 2 at half time, I think. I'm sure we did. I'm sure we was a couple of goals up by half time, and it just takes the pressure off, doesn't it? So listen, I do agree. Score the first or score early, absolutely. But I think if we can sort of repeat what we did at LSV, like I say, get a couple of goals at half time, even like we did against Spurs. Spurs we scored 3, and it just relaxes everybody. I think can't think who did the interviews now after Tottenham, but somebody came out afterwards and said, we got the early goals and it allowed us to relax and settle down. And there wasn't the pressure, and that's the sort of mentality we've got to take going forward. Like I say, get in there, and then if we do have a slight wobble and we're sort of 2 or 3-0 up, it's not critical. We're not panicking, thinking, oh God, they're back in the game or whatever, and it's just allows everybody just to play the game, doesn't it, and crack on. So but no, I do. I think that's correct. Obviously, I don't think it will be the 6 that we saw last time. But I mean, listen, if we play like we did last weekend against Tottenham, I can't see why it can't be 4 or 5. So yeah, but that's my thoughts anyway.
Just to go back to this, John, you've not missed a lot, mate. We're just getting Matt's thoughts on the Bristol game tomorrow. But I think you've been around for most of it anyway, John. You didn't miss much, honestly. Trust me, pal.
Missed 2 minutes was getting ripped to I say ripped to shreds. We were giving it back as well.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But yeah. So, what were we thinking lineup-wise, mate, tomorrow? Will it be sort of the same team that we saw against Tottenham, or do we think we'll make a change or two in there? Or do you think, here's another one to throw at you, do you think Leah might even start, or would you still say give it a 15, 20-minute cameo at the end? Possibly longer as a sub.
Yeah, I wouldn't say 15, 20 minutes. I'd build it up a little bit more. In terms of the team, I think, let me think what we had last time. I had Kirsty Smith, didn't we, at left back against Spurs. To be honest, I'd stick with the same back 4, Smithy, Turners, and Ona. I think the only thing I would probably change from Tottenham is, I think for me, Jackie has to start. Jackie didn't start against Tottenham, and I think, she did more in that 20 minutes she came on than Zellum did in 60 odd. So for me, Jackie's got to start. Leah potentially half time. But apart from that, it wasn't too bad, was it? Obviously, Kristen had her best game for me in a United shirt. You could maybe argue the game against West Ham at Old Trafford as well, but she was quality last week. So she's got to stay in. I think I'd keep Jess in there. I'd keep Tooney in there. And I'd keep Hansen in there. So probably just the one change. Probably just Jackie for Katie. Stick with Jackie and Staniforth in there. Tooney, Jess, Press, and Hansen for me. So yeah, not too many changes really. And then, like I say, half time maybe. Yeah, again, I'd agree. Like I say, dodgy pitch, bit of rain. You don't want anybody aggravating themselves. And obviously, she came on last week, Leah. Got into it. So again, it's just, I've talked about this before. It's about building it up. You get her in. She's had the 20, 25 minutes, whatever it was against Spurs. You build that up again, 30, 35, 45 even. And then maybe again against Everton. And then obviously in the cup, she's fully fit then. Obviously, we know Leslie's not going to play. For me, if she, similar approach for Everton, give her 20, 30 minutes, and then she's good to go for the cup. But yeah, like I say, one change for me, really, just in the middle of the park. And I don't really see why we should change a winning side. Because like I say, performance against Tottenham, I'm not really going to count the Burnley one because that was Burnley, but performance against Tottenham for me was good enough. The team selection was okay. So yeah, just the one change. I don't know if you want to add any thoughts. Would you agree? Would you put the same? Or
I definitely agree with Jackie coming in, mate. I think that's a given. I think as people are saying, let's end our season on a high. Strongest 11 or the best strongest 11 that we can finish. Stu Woolley is coming in. Where can the team finish in the league? Well, I think with Arsenal's win last week, that's probably third position out of our hands now. Yeah. Barring an absolute collapse in the last couple of games from Arsenal, but I can't see it. There's 2 matches left in the league now, isn't there, Matt?
There is, but Everton are, let me think. I think Everton's about 8 points behind because I'm sure even if I was looking, because obviously Arsenal won, I was looking the other day, was it Wednesday? And I think Everton can't catch us even if we lose 2 and they win 2. So, I mean, for me, it's where we are now, 4th. I don't think Arsenal will slip up tomorrow and in the final game. Who knows? But yeah, I think for me, 4th's nailed on. Disappointing, but it is what it is now. We just sort of move on and build in summer and look to improve.
Exactly, mate. Yes, that's the answer to you, Stu. I just wanted to make sure because Matt knows everything. Honestly, he's a lot better than me with league tables and all sorts. But yeah, I think 4th is nailed on, as Matt said. Everton can't catch us. By the looks of it, barring an absolute collapse in the last couple of games from Arsenal, we can't get 3rd. So 4th again, as it was last season. So, but it's Would you say that's an improvement, no, Matt? Though, or would you be slightly disappointed at finishing fourth again, or because obviously last season we finished fourth with a league that was curtailed through coronavirus and the pandemic and that cut short. So, would you be disappointed if we finishing fourth with us completing a full fixtures this season?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I think. Listen, I'm going to stick with what I said in must have been about February, March time when we started to drop away from the top, and I said, it was a failure. And I got absolutely mullered for it. People saying, "Oh, how's it a failure?" Blah blah blah. Not a proper fan and all this. It's just like, right, whatever, okay. And it's funny because what happened in the week, Casey came out and she said it was a failure, and then everybody's praising it. So it just goes to show, doesn't it? Some people have different opinions. That's fine, but like I said, it depends what you personally call success and failure. People have called it a success because we've massively closed the gap on the top three. That's fine. But for me, it's a failure because we were sitting top. We've lost in the Conti Cup, which I've referenced many times, and we've chucked away an easy group. Obviously, we don't chuck in excuses. We have had injuries, granted. But, if you look at the chances we create, it's sort of the stats are up there. I think we're fourth, maybe even fifth in terms of goals scored. We scored 40 and conceded 20. That's not too great for a side that wants to challenge in the top when other people are scoring 50, 60 goals plus. And I include Arsenal in that, we've got smaller squad than us. So, yeah, I think, like I say, it's ended a little bit disappointingly for me. And like I say, it's great that people are happy we've closed the gap. That's absolutely fine. But for me, I think, yeah, I'm sticking with what I said, sticking about a failure. John says, is it a season failure the last few months? It's a good question. I think I'd say the last few months because, September to Christmas, everyone was buzzing, and it was going all right. Conti Cup was seemed as a little blip and we thought, yeah, we'll kick on. And then sort of January, I think it's a familiar pattern. January, February, we tend to be a little bit sticky, don't we? And I don't know if we took things for granted as well as and got a little bit like, ooh, we're top sort of thing. But I was always confident of top three. And I said at the start of the season, top three. So based on that, like I say, it seems a little bit disappointing that we've come fourth. And like I say, we don't create enough chances. And when we do, we waste them. Again, you look at the chances created. And again, we're about fifth or sixth in the league. And this is like this, it's a top club. It's Man United, it's not bloody Everton or Spurs where we're just happy sitting in the middle of the park and we talk about Champions League in our dreams and all this rubbish. We're actually going for it. So, yeah, and I've always said summer's going to be big in terms of changes. And I know we're going to get into a certain player shortly. But, yeah, I think, we've got to step it up next year. And I'm talking goals all over. Tooney's our top scorer in midfield with 9 goals. But where's everybody else? Like I say, injuries is one thing, but we've still had players fit enough that can get us goals, So, yeah, it's one of them, I think says we've not considered consolidate. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, to be fair, this is our first full season in WSL. So there's different ways, like I say, of looking at it, depending on what you view as success and failure. But yeah, personally, I'm on the failure side. The gaffer's come out and said that, so I'm happy that at least we're on the same page and it's not just me alone. But yeah, I don't know what other people have read a few comments this week, and some people have said failure as well, and some haven't. So like I say, it's each to their own. It's always interesting, isn't it, to see sort of the different opinions and what people sort of, like I say, decide. So, but yeah, no problems with that. Like I say, we learn from it. I'm sure Casey's learned a lot from this year when we go again. But I don't know, what do you put it down to? Success, failure, sort of on the fence, a little bit of both, the stuff learned, or?
I'm probably with John Foster's comment earlier on, if I can find it again, about it being maybe the last few months being a failure. This one here is the season failure the last few months. Failure. I think the last few months has been a failure because, let's be fair, man, we was riding high at Christmas, wasn't we? We was top of the league, top of the pops, We was flying, all of us were absolutely buzzing. We was absolutely dreaming, man. None of us ever thought we would be top of the league, and we were bossing the league as well. We weren't top. We weren't just top just for the sake of it by a couple of points. We were bossing it at one point. It was just like we looked like a proper title challenging team at the halfway point, and then all of a sudden we've come back off the winter break, and it's just been, I don't know what it is. It's just been a bit of a capitulation from the winter break onwards up until you could probably say the Burnley game, where I think that's come in at the right time in the cup. It's sort of giving us that little bit of extra confidence that we needed, you know, when we absolutely battered them, you know. I just think it's a deep learning curve this season. I take it as that. You know, you learn more from your defeats than when you do riding high.
Yeah.
I hope that we learn from our mistakes after the winter break, and we come back next season and we look to not repeat these sort of mistakes again. It was just, I don't know, I don't understand it. You know, we've been on about it before. Defensively, we looked really, really shaky, whereas the first half of the season, defensively, was rock solid. And I just wonder whether it was that. I believe it was that mistake, that City game that knocked the stuffing out of us a little bit. You know, we didn't defend very well, and then the Chelsea game where we made a little cock up at the back between our two centre halves, which are normally our two most reliable and our two most strongest players at the back. You know, they never put a foot wrong hardly, and I just wonder if that's just sort of not their confidence, and we went a little bit, you know, uneasy at the back. Which is never a good thing, you know, when your goalkeepers, your centre halves don't look as easy as they did in the first half of the season. I just think, you know, that probably knocked the stuffing out was a little bit, but I'm just hoping we learn from this. I hope we take it as a learning curve. I'll get back in these comments a little bit. I have neglected them.
You know I was just going to say
that one there. Yeah.
Do you know what I think? Bang on, fantastic point. That for me could have been the thing where how would you describe it? Like a mental, like not a cockiness, but like who was sitting top, and maybe it got to our heads a little bit because we didn't expect to be there. And I don't know, it seemed a slight tweak in the way we play, went from sort of a 4-3-3, so to speak, back to the 4-2-3-1, and for me it didn't. There was no favors, and I've spoken about this tons over, well, probably since season 1, about two holding midfielders. Just we don't do it for me. I don't see why we need two. You know, people say, oh well, the big teams, but you know, we are a big team. You know, people saying, oh well, we're playing City and Chelsea, but for me, you know, with a fully fit team, we more than match them. Maybe not Chelsea, okay, but we certainly match City and Arsenal hands down. So, you know, this big team thing, we are a big team, and we've got to, you know, we've got to attack these teams. No point in sitting back. So yeah, it is. I agree. It's meaningless at Christmas because we're not Scousers and we're not celebrating league titles in November, December because we're sat 10 points clear or whatever. So maybe a little bit of attitude as well. That about the injuries, probably, yeah. I mean, listen, Tobin was a huge loss, but you know, we've got players that can still open up defences and, you know, get there. It just so happens that everybody else got injured at once. You know, we started Leah on the other side. Hansen's a quality player. Press was, well, she was in and out once she roundabout then. You know, so there was still more, you know, more options. And then obviously progressively it got worse. Sort of LJ was in and out. I know looking further down the comments, mindset, what Vic says, yes. Lack of winning experience, again, possibly, I think maybe just keeping heads, like the mentality, linking back to Gareth's point about not getting ahead of ourselves and giddy at Christmas when there's still 5 months left, plus cups as well to sort of, well, should have been FA Cup, obviously. Little did we know that would sort of, you know, end up how it did. But yeah, I think, you know, it's interesting, isn't it? There's so many things you could put it down to, and obviously we'll never truly know. But you know, it has to be lessons learned. That's the biggest thing, like you said before. We've got to be taken away, right? Okay, what went wrong? Where do we analyse it? We've looked into the injuries. Okay, what players are maybe possibly letting us down? Where do we need to strengthen? What do we need to do? And yeah, just like I say, just look at it all in the summer. More importantly, is Vic's coming on the podcast on a birthday week? Good question, Vix. If you fancy joining us one day, DM one of us, or the All for United account, and somebody will pick it up. You're more than welcome to come on. Just in case you said she wants to. Yeah, again, experience of winning. I think it's interesting, isn't it? Because we've talked about in the past, have maybe some of the players that we brought through from the Championship, maybe, what's the word? Not moved up with the levels. Some have, some haven't. You know, I don't want to name a player, but you know, we're all well aware we've got 3 goalkeepers, and you know, a couple of them came from the Championship. There's maybe one of them that, you know, possibly may move on in summer. And And yeah, it's one of them where you look now and you're looking again. We've talked about it, haven't we? Strength in depth, numbers to compete with other players. Like I've touched on before, everybody loves OG21, but sometimes when your quality steps up and you have bigger ambitions, those players may only be good enough for sort of mid-table sides. These are going to be ruthless enough. I'd like to think so, but I'm going to say no, because I don't think we've seen it in previous years, really. I mean, it was, to me, maybe summer. I thought it was savage getting rid of Amy Palmer, but then in hindsight, looking at it this year, I struggled to see where she may have fitted in. Possibly instead of Stanley when Stanley was injured, and obviously instead of Zellum as well. But then Jackie Tooney and Ladd, for me, I love that three. So, you know, we've talked about, haven't we? I know I've talked about players. Nat's talked about players. You've talked about players. You know, Robert Gareth, other people. We've all talked about who we potentially see going, but you know, it's one thing, isn't it, being ruthless and saying, right, you've not been good enough. You've not been good enough for 2 years now. You've not been good enough for however, do you know? And I think, yeah, it comes down to an interesting summer for me. It's absolutely massive now. This summer is probably our biggest one yet. I'd go and say that much.
I'm still pointing to, in my point of view, I think she's going to have to be ruthless, mate. I don't think the money's going to be there. I really don't think the money's going to be there, though, because I'm looking at this thinking, I'm of the opinion I don't trust the Glazers, mate. We'll get onto that later as well, but I just don't trust them to give. She's already, if Casey's already coming out and harping on about a budget again, that says everything. You know, when people think that we've got the budget, and she's coming out and saying, "Look, I've not got the budget of the Arsenals, the Chelseas, and the Cities in this league." You know.
Well, she said, didn't she, 350 grand less for not qualifying in the Champions League?
Exactly. You know, instead of entrusting her, you know, to go again next season, you know, but we shall see, mate. We shall see. Did we lose experience this summer? Did Greenwood go to City, if I've got a name right? Yeah, you got a name right, mate. But, mate, we'll let Matt explain this. He loves a good conversation about Greenwood.
I think,
and that's the Alex Greenwood, not Mason, by the way.
No, yeah. No, I think, listen, it's a touchy subject for obvious reasons for where she went. I mean, she didn't go straight there, so I'll touch on when we lost her to Lyon. I think for me, she probably, I'm going to get shot for this, is or was the best left back in the league. And, you know, she was the reason for many of our goals in season 1 with her delivery and her assists. And more importantly, she was a leader. Now, and I mean, you know, I can acknowledge it's all good. Yeah, for me, you know, she's been there, she's done it. I've seen Alex for many years, for England, for other clubs, and I think, yeah, listen. I've said this year we lack leadership. Now at the back, you've got Amy and Millie. Mary's quite vocal, so that should be enough. But I don't know. It's difficult because obviously we've played Ona on the left-hand side out of position. And listen, credit to her, she's been outstanding. But then we've struggled on the other side because Martha and Smithy between them have been injured so many times that, you know, maybe it has. And I think sometimes when you need them winners to drag you through games and to be saying when it's not good enough. And I don't know. It was difficult. I mean, listen, for me, Lyon's the best team in the world for the women's game. So massive blow to lose her so late during the season, and then to go and rush in a left back when we got Lotta was criminal. I think unfair on the player as well. But yeah, I think for me, we definitely lost experience. Imagine if we had her one side and Ona the other. You know, I think we'd be a lot higher up than we are in the table. So yeah, bit of a blow. Obviously, she's gone now, so that's that. But yeah, I think it's one of them, you know, we got the money for her and then we wasted the money on a player that's no longer with us. So yeah, Vix is right. Need another quality fullback. I think if a fullback leaves, then we need 2 fullbacks. But again, you know, we'll see. I'm not sure. There was a discussion the other day. People was asking, are Martha and Smithy both out of contract? I thought one of them had another year. So, but who knows with that stuff.
Someone will tell, mate. Someone will tell, I think.
Yeah. I know a couple that have contracts next year. But like I say, I think if one fullback does go, which I would think one maybe would out of them 2, then we need 2 fullbacks. If they both stay, then we just need 1 for me, and a centre half as well. But yeah, just where I sit. But that's where it is, like I say, on the Greenwood. Smithy's out of contract and Martha's the option for the extra of the year. Well, that's a bit of a blow, isn't it? I keep Smithy because she's versatile and she gets forward very well. But yeah, that's another one, another discussion for another show and another time. Otherwise, it'll turn into a transfer special.
I'm going to jump ahead a little bit because John Foster, the comments. So he loves to jump the gun out, John Foster. But so we'll get to this LJ thing now. What do you think of the breaking news from the Daily Mail yesterday? LJ to Chelsea. There's been a massive discussion about all this. Yesterday, on the All for United WFC YouTube live show with John and Nat yesterday. What's your opinion? What's your opinion on this transfer speculation, this transfer rumor, or is it more than a rumor? Is this set in stone? Is she going to go join her brother at Chelsea? But obviously they won't be able to play together before somebody goes. What do you mean join her brother? But is she going to go to Chelsea, mate? What's the likelihood? Give me give me a figure out of 5. What are you feeling, mate?
4.
4 out of 5.
Do you know what? I'll start, and then I'll start. I'll be here all night, and then I'll let you jump in. Back in probably end of December, January time, it was me, Nat, and Dave Pritt. All heard something about this. Dave heard it first, and he tweeted, "There's going to be a meltdown in summer for this certain player leaving." So I was like, okay. So a couple of people I know, a couple of parents, and a couple of conversations later, did a bit of digging, and they'd heard the same as what David heard, which then me and Nat heard, because Nat's got her separate sort of, contacts and people in the know. So yeah, like I say, sort of been sitting on it since January, thinking my days, like where on earth do we go now? Probably we are losing our best young talent that we have. And the things I'd heard was basically she'd struggled up here, obviously with pandemic and things going on, that she was missing home and she wanted to be closer to home. A boyfriend lives down in London as well, so yeah, I'd heard she wanted out. Spoke to Natalie about it. She was like, "Yeah, I've heard the same." Obviously, Dave was like, "Yeah." I don't know who Dave actually spoke to. Maybe it was an agent or something. I don't know. Dave's got many people that he speaks to in the game. So yeah, we'd heard that it was sort of done to Chelsea and they were paying us a fee because I think in the summer she'll have 2 years left. So at the end of this season, she'll have 2 years left on a deal. So there'll be a fee involved. We'd heard. Don't know how much, but I think, like I said, I'm pretty sure that's done. I'm not going to come out and say nailed on 100%. But like I say, 3 of us had heard from different people that in January that LJ was off, and obviously I'll tell you, it was a massive kick in the teeth. I think even more difficult to sit on it for so long. Obviously, we're in May now and people are sort of hearing about it. But like I say, quality player. Yes, she's had her injuries this year. Mail were reporting record fee. Yes, the Mail said 150 grand. So, I think what's that in terms of record fees? Who knows? I can't remember. Did Chelsea pay some ridiculous? I think, in fact, they might pay 300k for Pernilla Harder. Can't remember now. But yeah, I think for me, huge blow. You saw the goal against Chelsea. We've seen what she's done over 3 years. She's our second all-time top scorer. And what's she, 19 years old? So 500k. There we go. Somebody else says, Vic says 350. Maybe it was 500 including wages. I thought it was about 300, 350. So half of that. Still a big fee though for teenager. And in the women's game, considering we only got 40 grand for Greenwood. But yeah, I think, absolutely just like you say, you understand for her side, she's not been the first player to leave the club that said they were sort of homesick. And I get that, you miss home and it's difficult, absolutely. But I think, we've got some international players who also haven't been able to get on a plane. London, okay, you've not been able to get back in London's, 3-4 hours in the car and get on a train. And I do get that. And a young player, listen, I couldn't have moved up to, well, I'll flip it. She went from London to Manchester. I couldn't do Manchester to London, age 16, so fair play. And she's given us 3 fantastic years of service. There's been little bits where you think, oh God, she could have done this, she could have done that. But listen, it's been nothing major other than inexperience. She's been an absolute joy to watch. She really has. And I can't speak highly of her enough. Like I said, there's obviously bits to work on. quality player. So, people are saying in the comments, about selling to a rival. Yeah, no, it is. That's all. Like, do the maths. 2 hours, not 4. But yeah, it is. It's like rival. But then, do you keep an unhappy player in your dressing room? No, you don't, because then eventually it becomes a problem. You take the money with 2 years on the contract, and if your owners aren't tight asses, which they are, you reinvest the whole lot, and you reinvest it carefully. The key word being carefully, because the last lot of money that we got, we wasted. We wasted on Jane Ross and we wasted on Lotta. So, it's important. But like I say, I'm 4 out of 5 for going. Gareth says, let's get Beth England. I think I said Beth England and G. I'd heard, due to the sort of Brexit stuff that's gone on and the foreign quotas now, that they may have to get rid of somebody that's non-EU. So G fits that perfectly. She would fill the gap left by Lauren, puts Beth England further down the pecking order, and she was unhappy at the start of the season. So if we could do a deal to get, or even a swap, them two and no money for LJ, be more than happy. Can I see that happening? No. But, I'd take, I think a few people take England. There's lots of players out there, G as well. But yeah, I think it's one of them. Gutted, really. But yeah, it was
on that Chelsea rejects, by the way, though. Beth England and G are quality world-class players.
They're
not just any riff-raff. You know what I mean? No. That Chelsea want to get rid of. If we could potentially get these two as part of the deal, these two are world-class players.
G for an attacking midfielder is up in the. I'm sure she's in the top 10 for assists and goals in WSL. She may be even higher, but I'm pretty sure. When they did that 10th anniversary, pretty sure G was up there, but. I personally, I wouldn't call them rejects. Listen, we had Liverpool players and they weren't rejects and they won as a league, So I think, quite happy to. It depends who it is. Obviously we took Maria. She's not really set the place I like. I'd probably call her a reject. Players Chelsea don't want. No, I think Chelsea, G wasn't the team of the decade. I think Chelsea would love to keep England. They'd probably love to keep G, but rules dictate on G, and England, if she doesn't want to stay, then it's one of them. But I think, we've got to remember that we're not in the Champions League, and due to that, players have already turned us down, i.e. Bunny Shaw. So yeah, we've got to sort of, I don't know, replace LJ, but replace with quality and spend properly. But listen, if England and G are available, even if one's available, I'd take either one. But I'll let you speak on LJ now, because I've waffled on for a good 10 minutes.
Mate, it's a huge. I think I said it in the comments during John and Nat's live YouTube show yesterday. It's a big kick in the teeth, this, mate. And why do I get it? Why do I get a feeling it's the Paul Pogba situation all over again? But the fact that LJ's obviously definitely played for us a lot more than Pogba did in his career at that point, and why do I get a feeling that it could be another one of them situations where further down the line we're buying her back for X amount of money because she's the best player in the world, for example. I don't know, mate. It's a kick in the teeth. I could understand the reason why she wants to go, but as a United fan, from my point of view, it's a kick in the teeth because for me, I've said it, even though she's only 19, she's young, she's our most naturally gifted player. I think, I include Press and Heath in that. I think LJ is better than them at their age. You know what I mean? At their age. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, if Chelsea get Lauren James, mate, who's catching Chelsea? With Leon being, I think with players looking to leave Leon and everything, are Chelsea going to now become the next European superpower with someone like LJ over the next few years, getting developed into their team? I don't know, mate. I'd be gutted, mate. I'd be really, really gutted. I could understand from her point of view, as I said, if it is a homesickness thing, if she is missing family down south. And did you say her boyfriend lived down south as well?
Yeah, I think he's a youth player at some. I can't remember. It's either Fulham or Millwall, or something like that. Because that's why.
All right, okay. I understand that as well. And obviously, Reese. I think someone. I don't know if it was you or somebody. I think somebody said it in that show yesterday, Nat and John's show yesterday about. I think it was Natalie herself, actually, that Reese, when he was at Wigan, came and watched near enough every game that she played for United in the Championship. So
interesting on that, because that was something she talked about in season 1 when he was on loan at Wigan. She talked about having him up here massively helped to settle. Now, I don't know whether they may have lived together, but like you say, he was at every single game because, some of us had a chat with him after the game, good lad, and dad as well, both, top people. But yeah, I think that at the time was massive for her, at that age as well, having him up here. And obviously dad was up here every weekend, whether he was watching Reese or if he was watching her. So she had that here. But yeah, like you say, it's a blow in it. I can't see her coming back. I think Casey's one of them. She's that.
No,
ruthless.
I'm not saying that she would go back there. I was just saying it could be another Paul Pogba situation where we've let her go for X amount and then we're buying her back for even more because she is one of the best players in the world. I'm not saying that she's no longer coming back, by the way. I'm just saying that it feels like that to me a little bit, listen, if she's not happy, I'd rather have players that are happy, that want to play for the football club. And I'm not saying that Lauren doesn't want to play for the football club because even though I think she's probably missing home and homesickness and missing a family, I think in an injury hampered season when she has played, she's done exceptionally well. She's not thrown down tools, she's not gone off in a huff or anything like that. She's given her everything. And listen, if she does leave, mate, she'll go with absolutely all the thanks that I could give her, all the appreciation that I could give her, because from seeing that teenage talent that ripped up the championship, that has done so well for us in the WSL, and, that scores so many goals, even at her age, in big matches for Manchester United as well. Not just small matches, she's scored in some really big matches as well for United, She'll go with an absolute thank you very much. Good luck for the rest of your career. Mate, I'd be gutting, but you can't keep a player that doesn't want to be at Manchester United. And usually you'd say, if you leave Manchester United, the only way is down. But unfortunately, in the women's side at the minute, Chelsea are possibly one of the best teams in Europe. So you can't argue against that, and if she does go back down there, if a fella's down south and in an academy somewhere, and she's close to Reese, she's closer to her dad and her parents and everything, then yeah, I could totally understand it, mate. But it's just really gutting, I can't believe, people are saying, I think here, Marie, saying, can't believe we strengthen a rival, but will we get there as a team? But it's still early days for the team. Yeah, strengthen a rival thing, Unfortunately, I think it's got Chelsea or City that will be able to afford her, mate. I think
that's where the women's game differs. No, I was going to say that's where the women's game differs. Yes, it's a rival, completely agree. And it, like you say, strengthening a rival, that's absolutely correct. But you do, don't they? This tends to be in the women's game. Some people, they move about, United, Liverpool, City, Everton, the whole lot. They seem to move between clubs. I mean, we talked about Greenwood, didn't we, before? She's played for Everton, Liverpool, United and City. That was the men's game. That'd be absolutely ridiculous. It very rarely happens. And it is a common thing in the women's game because of the wages and money being few and far between. But yeah, it is spot on. Domestic rivals, somebody that in a couple of years' time we will be challenging toe-to-toe for with the league for them and trophies. And yeah, it does strengthen a rival, but it's like we said, you can't keep an unhappy player. It's a waste. What do we do? Run a contract down and have a disrupt in the dressing room and get no money and it ruin the team, or just let her go and thank her and take the cash and reinvest it? There's kind of, your hands are tied, aren't they? The only good thing for us is that we tied it down last summer to a 3-year deal. So obviously, like I say, after this season, it's a 2-year deal. Best side in Europe. They probably are. I know we were talking in our little All United group, me and Nat, about different leagues. And yeah, I said Leon have been poor. I say poor. They haven't been the best this year, Leon, for me. I'd probably say with Gareth, I think Chelsea probably been the best side in Europe. You could possibly throw PSG in there, but I'd still say Chelsea, because Chelsea could still win a quadruple. But yeah, I think, spot on. Keep moving forward and improving our team. It's one of them, like I say, as long as they're replaced properly, players come and go and it's part of football. I absolutely hated Ronaldo leaving from the men's side. Absolutely gutted. But what can you do? When a player expresses an interest to go, you're stuck, rival or not. I mean, at that time with Ronaldo, Madrid fighting for us in Europe, and obviously we were doing well in Europe back in them days. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what there is to say on it. It's been difficult sitting on it for 5 months, knowing that it is LJ. But yeah, I don't know. It's just But I think further up, Vic said, didn't she? We've managed to cope sort of this season without her, and we have. She's been injured, so who knows? I don't know, but it's one of them. She goes, and we've got to move on. Just got to accept it, and like I say, put our all now into reinvesting that and building with people that do want to be here and do want to sort of fight for the badge and the trophies. So, and off we go.
Yeah, there's nothing more I can say on it, mate. We'll have to just wait and see till the summer. I'm with you. 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5. I think it's there long going, mate. And it's just amazing to me that a national newspaper picked up on it around with a story. So it just shows how much the women's game is growing. Although usually they wouldn't really care, would they? Who's moving between who and whatever.
It's a little bit late.
Well, yeah. It's really good that. From that aspect, that the national press is getting involved. It just shows that the women's football is moving on in that way. But obviously, a devastating blow for Manchester United if she was to leave in the summer. But we shall see. So long as we get every single penny of that fee, that Casey gets to reinvest in the squad. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's another reason why I don't trust the owners on that side, or whoever it is that helps run the financials for the women's team. I just hope she gets every single penny to reinvest in the squad and build a stronger squad. If it's not like you said, a straight swap for 2 players or whatever. I just did forget though, before we go on to the to preview the Liverpool game, got to get your score prediction for Bristol, mate, since John Foster made me jump further ahead in time.
Hashtag blame John.
Hashtag blame John.
I'm going to go 4-1. I was going to say 4-0, and then I thought, actually, no, because we've not learned at the back yet. And we conceded against Tottenham. Although that was a quality goal, we still conceded. So, yeah, I'm going to say 4-1. Like the Spurs game, 4-1 win. Vicks wants 6. Listen, I'd love 6. Maybe not the 0, but 6. But, yeah, I'd say 4-1. Gareth saying 4-0. I'd say, I think, listen, they've progressed under Matt Baird, I'd love them to stay up. I think that'd be great for them. Conti Cup final and staying up, send West Ham down. That'd be success. Considering how far off they were before he came in, I think they had 2 points, and on 12 now. And like I said, made a cup final. They're improved, but yeah, I think 4-1 for me. And hopefully after that, then we will concede. Yeah, we've got to give Ebony the goal. It's just kind of it's a seasonal thing, that, isn't it? Last year, this year. Listen, go for 4-1 if you want. Oh, good. If you copy, you copy. What can I say? Copy and learn from the best. No, I'm joking. But yeah, listen, and like I say, I think they've got to go to Brighton last game, which isn't easy, but fingers crossed, they can go and nick something at Brighton and keep them up. What are your thoughts?
I'm going to go.
As well.
I'm going to go 3-1. I'm going to throw 3-1. I just, okay. I just think I'd love to say 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, but I don't know, man. Something about Matt Baird team as well. I just don't know.
It's away though on that dodgy non-league pitch. That's also, I think they use it for rugby as well down there as well. I'm sure they do, like somebody like that. Yeah, I don't know. Not going to blame the pitch.
4-1 though, so can't be copying from the best.
That's because Ben isn't the best. That's why, pal.
I'm just a clueless one, me. Matt knows everything. I'm saying 3-1. But I'm not going to go for Ebony to score, though. I think Amy Palmer's going to score a screamer. I've been feeling it for a couple of weeks, Palmer top bins, I don't know why, but, just one of them. But I'm going to 3-1, man. I'm going to 3-1.
Don't get him started on his Norwich massive. It's bad enough they've won the league today.
Oh, but hell, if it's not Leicester, it's Norwich with him, and I don't know. I don't know. Love you really, Gav. Love you really. Right. Moving on, because I know time is ticking on. We're moving on to, we'll just quickly skim through the Premier League game tomorrow. against that lockdown from the East Lancs Road, you know, Liverpool. Big Premier League game, this. How do you see it going, Matt?
I mean, listen, they're still looking like the Chuckle Brothers at the back, aren't they? They're still sat down in sixth. So, you know, at home, it's a big game. We should be up for it. There's no reason not to be up for it. It's Liverpool. Yeah, I don't know. I think confident. I mean, listen, I said draw, didn't I, against Leeds, and we got the draw. Obviously, it was 0-0. I think I'd said 1-1. We need to improve on that performance. We really do. At home, I think 3-1. I'm going to say 2-0. I think we've got enough. Listen, you know, we're at home. It's a big game. We should have enough. Like I say, need to improve from the Leeds result. But I think the good thing is if we beat them, top 4 for them is pretty much over. And I think that may be in our minds, you know, how good would it be to stop the current champions from getting into the Champions League would be, you know, unreal. It'd be hilarious. It really would, considering they've all piped up thinking that they were the best defending champions ever. My days. Hallelujah. So yeah, I think for me, you know, listen, if I was one of the United players, I'd be like, right, let's go out and just get this job done. You know, let's stop them getting in top 4, leave them in the Europa or leave them in 6 or whatever. Because I think, you know, actually saying that, I think if we win the Europa, doesn't that generate another European spot? So they might get something. Saying it means more. Yeah, anything, any win means something.
Getting them the Liverpool quote, isn't it? This means more. So that's why I think Vix is saying that. It means more. You know, there's a little quote they've got. I think there's a come out the tunnel.
No, it does mean more.
So
I don't pay attention to stuff like that. Certainly not when Liverpool's involved. Couldn't care about the shit quotes, but no, fair play then. I've missed that one, so apologies, Vix. It's gone completely over my head.
The Manchester
must be more. Needs more to come 6. That's great for them. Job well done, eh? But no, I think, like I say, 2-0. Get the job done. And yeah, let's end the season. I think another good thing, obviously, Leicester slipped up, didn't they, yesterday? They drew against 10 men. They seem to be slowly fading away. They did that the last season, didn't they, when it restarted? You know, they were really second and dropped. So, yeah. But I think, for me, you know, get the win. Let's keep Chelsea down in 4th and away from us. Let's keep Liverpool as far down as possible. And let's just get it done. Why it means more, I don't know. Must mean more being worse than you have been for the past 2 years. So it's got to mean more coming lower. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, go on, Ben. Chuck your thoughts in there.
Training second team, Leicester. He's getting into it, Rob. Look, he's getting into that second team. Yeah, my thoughts on it.
That lad's geography and that.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
My thoughts on the game, anyway. I'm going to go 2-0 United. I'm going for a clean sheet, mate. I think Dean Henderson's going to keep a clean sheet.
I have Dino back in goal.
Yeah, definitely Dino back in goal. I think he's our Premier League number 1 now, anyway. Wondered how long it would take Robert to. Yeah. Oh,
there's his little spell. Comes and goes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for 2-0 tomorrow, and I'm gonna go for Edison Cavani to get the opening goal. He's on fire, that kid. By the sounds of it, it could be a possibility that he's staying as well, you know, next season, which is great news as well, because the second half of the season, in particular, Edison Cavani has looked really on it. He looks really sharp. Fitness is back now. Looks like he's settled in.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's not just press bullshit. That's proper that's properly, you know, and it gives Ollie an opportunity to spend elsewhere as well. I don't think the striker position, if we keep Edison Cavani, is a problem. You know, especially when you've got the front three agreeing with Martial and Rashford. So I don't think that would be a problem. It gives him a bit more money to spend in a defensive midfield role, a centre-half role. and a right wing. Well, depending on how much money he gets budget wise from that lot that own the football club. So, which I don't know. I've said it before. It's another discussion for another day. I don't trust them. Whatever they may give him in the summer. But I'm going for 2-0 tomorrow. I'm going to go for a solid performance, and just to see the old yellow teeth Klopp and just see him cry a little bit more and see what he'll blame on tomorrow's defeat on. Whether it'll be the protesters outside putting his team off because they made too much noise. I don't know, mate. You know, he'll find something to blame other than himself and his team being absolutely the shittest champions the world's ever seen. Let's be fair. You know, everybody would jump in the gun last season. That's the greatest Premier League side ever. More like the fucking worst champions I've ever seen in my life. Worse than Blackburn and Leicester, them lot. Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Robert piping up again.
Oh, I know. Okay, yeah, sorry, Rob. Yeah, but I better not say Leicester. He might think that. I like Leicester.
Your second team as well.
We'll play Gary Neville, yeah, most probably. Vix, most probably.
It's windy tomorrow. A bit of wind coming in. It's always kind of play football in the wind. I'm joking.
Oh dear, I don't know. But yeah, it should be a decent game. Any game against that lot down the East Lancs Road is fucking. It's special, you know. It means, and I'm gonna. In a Liverpool sense, this one does mean more. This one means the most to United fans and to Liverpool fans. It is the biggest game in English football, and no matter where the teams are in the league, it could be both be bottom of the league, mate. You know, Liverpool games are always the biggest games and always the games that means more to the fans. And I'm using that Liverpool quote again. This means more, but it does. The fans, it means everything in the game. You know, whether you're a Liverpool fan, whether you're a Manchester United fan, this one is always the first one that you look out on when the fixtures are all released. When do we play them? When do we play them away? Liverpool games are the biggest, and as Vix has also said there, you know, and it always means the most. You know, we always want to go out and beat them. You know, and hopefully tomorrow it'll be another win against that lot from down the East Lancs Road. You know, City's still not a proper rival in my head. Just bought what they have. Listen, City are only the third in my list. It goes Leeds. It goes Liverpool, Leeds, City. In my opinion, for main proper rivals. Do you reckon Mo Salah will actually turn up, or do you reckon that Luke Shaw's going to have him in his back pocket again?
Has Mo Salah turned up all season?
That's debatable, I think.
I say not. You know, it's Mo Salah this, Mo Salah that. I mean, personally, fucking hell, no. I think he's been crap this year, but that's just me. Somebody will start crying over that probably when the other fans tune in. But no, I think for me, no, Luke's Luke. You know, I think he's been absolutely world class player of the year, season, whatever you call it. So yeah, but listen, I don't think it should be a massive issue. I mean, listen, I'm saying that. Watch the fucker go and score now. But I think, listen, Luke should be able to have him. Just kick him, send him down that little slope down at the side of the pitch and just let him roll. And yeah, I just can't stand the guy. I was worrying. I was wondering, who did I hate more? Him or Suarez? Just the pair of them just cannot abide. It's just the diving and the just acting and yeah. No, just came down the left. Get him gone.
Get him gone. I love that. Yeah, I just hope that we can give Jordan Henderson a good kicking and all. That's another one that I don't fucking like. I hate Jordan Henderson. Fair play to the lad, though. He has been, as a captain. He has. Is he out? Oh, well, James Miller then, because he used to play for fucking Leeds.
Yeah, he's been injured for weeks.
Mate, do I look like I pay attention to Liverpool?
No,
ain't worth watching, lad. So long as they lose, I don't care.
Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump's a good one. What? I bet Forrest Gump can pass the ball.
See, I'm glad I've got you on the show. It keeps me straight, mate, because I don't keep up with who Liverpool got and who Liverpool ain't fucking got. I couldn't care less. But James Miller, then I hope someone kicks that bastard because he's ex-Leeds scum and all. So,
you know what? I don't keep up, but I love seeing, like, I think TalkSport tweeted something the other day about Henderson in England, And I was like, nah, the guy just literally passes the ball fucking backwards and sideways and does nothing. You know, give me Mason Mount, give me Jack Grealish. And all the fans was crying, oh, he's been injured, he's not playing, rah, rah, rah. Good, don't play then. Don't come to the Euros, don't want you. So, yeah. Right. A couple of weeks ago, they were all crying over some quote tweeted on TalkSport and just like, listen, he's crap. End of discussion. Got better players to go to the Euros. So, Maddison, Grealish, Mount, you know, yeah, just runs around. That's it. Headless chicken. Forrest Gump was a good finger. You know, reminds me of Gareth Barry. Only had one way and it was fucking backwards and sideways. So, yeah, no.
Backwards and sideways. That takes you back to Louis Van Gaal type football. That backwards, sideways, like a fucking tennis match. Backwards, sideways, sideways, never forwards.
That's what you should call. Listen, at Everton, that's what they called him when he went there. Gareth Sideways Barry. They hated him. That's all he ever did. He just kicked it backwards sideways.
Oh, fucking hell. I love it.
That was it. So, yeah. Nice. Is that Gareth so, yeah.
Okay, now. Right, then. Because time's ticking on. Nearly at the hour mark already. Fucking, I don't time fly by when you're having fun. I want to just get your thoughts on the protest tomorrow. Obviously, I think there's quotes in the press that about 10,000 people are going to turn up to Old Trafford tomorrow to protest. And this one is focusing more about protecting the legacy 50+1 ruling, as well as just trying to get the Glazers out. So I just want to get your thoughts on the protests tomorrow. Are you for it? Or do you think that there's no point protesting? That no matter what we say or do, they'll never sell anyway. So, what do you think about the protesting tomorrow?
No, I'm with it. Listen, I've always said as a fan, you deserve, in my view, to have your voice heard or your opinion. Listen, I was for the other one. This one's, like you say, bigger. So we believe. For this one as well. And yeah, I was just going to come to that. It passed 100K, I think, middle of the afternoon in that petition. So yeah, I think that there does need to be something into it. How they implement that, or if they implement it, I don't know. But yeah, it does need to be done. Like I say, if you're free and you're local and you can get down, obviously, get down, take your mask, go and protest. Absolutely, make yourself heard. It is important. This is it now. I think everyone's just sick to death. It's been going on for far too long now. Far too long. And people are sick of it. Every year when the accounts come out and you see how many millions or billions, if you include since they sort of took over, and then they're going wasting it on what's the crap they do in America? Is it the baseball or something?
Tampa Bay, the American football team that just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So they waste money on them players and signing everything, and then they take it all out of us and whack it on as debt. Nah, not for me. But no, listen, it's never been a sort of popular ownership family, has it? Tom Brady, that was the guy we're thinking of. See, I don't follow half of this American stuff. I just hear little bits. But listen, like I say, fans are sick to the back teeth now, and it's become a joke. It's become, a club that ruled Europe and was always fighting for the best players to now becoming tight asses and, we can't spend that on them. And, I look back at that Dortmund game and Jude Bellingham tore City a new one. And, I think, what did Birmingham want? 30 million? And we couldn't even sort that. The guy came to the training ground, met Sir Alex, and they wouldn't fund it. And it's like, really? That's it. Invest in the club or go. Just like I say, get down there, make yourselves heard. The more the better. Like I say, I appreciate, fans are all over and they can't get, that's fine. But like I say, if you are local, get yourselves up. Obviously be safe. That's the first thing, but make yourselves heard. And yeah, hopefully they take note. I think for me, this is probably the biggest backlash, I would say. I don't know if you agree, since they did take over. And I think, it now sort of, I think the European Super League thing has tipped people over the edge massively. Obviously, we're grateful that that's not going ahead now, but I think it's just it needs to step up again now. And this for me is now's the next step. Fans have won with their voice collectively for the Super League, and now is the time. If you're sort of looking at it from their point of view, and I don't like to do that, but for me, if I was them, you'd be like, right, let's get the hell out of here and let's cash in. Listen, they don't think as sensibly as we do. But listen, now is the time. Get your cash for the club and get out. It's that simple. Yeah. I mean, listen, they're in it because they're taking money out. But yeah, that's it. There's literally spot on. So yeah, it's literally like a take your money and run. Listen, we already know, and I talked about this last week. They already know they're going to make an absolute fortune on what they paid for it. So cut your losses. It is greedy, and it is massively greedy, and it's sickening to see because there's greed, and then there's taking the mick greed, and it's just gone on for too long, rattled too many people, and collective action is needed. And we've seen people coming together, and it's overturned the Super League. And this is why I'm saying to you, I agree with it. If we can get 10K there and it's an increase on the last protest, brilliant. And just keep it going and keep yourselves heard and keep putting your opinion out there. However you're doing it. I believe that fans are supposed to be back for the last couple of games. Again, get in there, back the team, but also voice your displeasure against the owners. And yeah, Conor McGregor sold his shares. That's got 600 billion. That'll do. That's wow.
Yeah, he'll have to get backed by someone completely with a load of money because the Glazers won't sell for less than 4 billion.
Yeah, I say that's half, and he had 4 billion, so maybe it's not half. But yeah,
4 billion plus the debt that they've piled on the club. Yeah.
See, this is it. I think depending on how this goes and what how that Alexander does come in, it does sort of it.
I'm not sure. We just lost Matt there. I think he's just frozen in time. Oh no, is he back? No, he's frozen again.
I'm back.
He's back.
Yeah,
he's back.
Saying if Wrexham can get bought by then we can get bought by somebody rich fans. So yeah, we'll see what we get with that. But hopefully, fingers crossed.
We'll see. We'll see if they even sell because I've got a feeling these lot just want to milk Manchester United for every single penny that they can until it's absolutely until we're worthless. But like the Terminator crane is, I think it's just like you're always coming back, lad. Yeah, so it's like that song, "Want You Back for Good." No more Yanks. I completely fucking agree. But Conor McGregor is Irish and he's a United fan, but he has to have some big backers with him to go and buy out Manchester United because they won't sell it in less than 4 billion. But we shall see on that one. In terms of the protests, though, absolutely agree with you. If you're local or if you can travel down from wherever you're traveling down from, please come down. Please get your voices heard. It's now time. I remember the protest back in 2010. The green and gold campaign that was unreal. But obviously the club are shit houses now. We won't be able to get Glazers out banners in there now because they just fucking have all their minion bloody stewards to tear them down and all that lot because the owners don't like stuff like fucking freedom of speech and shit like that. So. And let's be fair, the shithouse their way out again. Mr. Joel Glazer, I will fucking communicate better with the fans. Let's not forget he shithoused his way out of a fans forum meeting yesterday with the supporters trusts like Manchester United Supporters Trust, etc., and the TRA. They after all this big speech of this fucking pre-typed letter that he had somebody type up for him, my main aim is to communicate better with the fans. Well, he shithoused his way out the first, his first chance to communicate better with the fans. So Joel Glazer's already fucked that up for me. He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
Oh, his dad care. 10 years ago.
Well, yeah, 16 years. 16 years it took for some sort of correspondence to come from that fucking Joel Glazer, and it was the letter thing. At least the fucking, is it John Henry or whatever it is from Liverpool? At least he did some sort of a fucking a video message, you know what I mean? Even though it was fucking typed out for him as well, because you can see him staring at an auto cue, reading off what fucking some geezers typed up for him. It's not from the heart. But yeah, it's time to get them gone, mate. If you get them gone. Or at least to give fans a voice within the football club. 50+1 will be hard. It may take many years to to get intact, to get going, because owners are going to fight it to the bitter end. But if the government can get in where things are like your season ticket holders, 50% of your season ticket holders have to agree before something passes, that for me is a start. That's a big start. If we can get something like that, which is probably going to be the easiest option at first, at least then fans have that little bit of a voice then to say yes or no. Otherwise, sorry, Matt. Otherwise, these owners are just going to keep on running and running and running for these shit ideas that they want. But sorry, mate. After you, mate. Sorry.
I was just going to say anything that gives fans a say. I noticed you said about season ticket holders. That'd be a start. Listen, it's got to start. Doesn't matter if it's something small. It starts somewhere, and then you build. And like you say, season ticket holders might be the way. Whichever, like you say, I think it will be difficult to implement the exact same rule as Germany, and it may take a while. But like I say, you've got to give it a go. Got to force the hand, and like you say, if supporters get votes, and then they have to act on that legally, rather than just supporters vote and then ignore it, then that's what we need to do. That's a good point with Boris about that, because we saw that in the European Super League. They do that for the votes, obviously, don't they? You know what it's like with these bloody politics. Oh, well, we'll stop this and we'll stop that. And they target football because it's a global thing that everybody in the country, more or less, or even one person in every household in the country watches football, maybe more. So, yeah, they use that as political point scoring. So we've got to watch that. Just that they're not going to be saying, oh, well, vote for us and we'll do this and do that, and then it all go tits up, because that's not what we want. We want it sorted without politics. But if it helps and they can get something in, then fair play to them, as long as it sorts the problem, then that's all we want at the end of the day as fans. Like you say, season ticket holders could be interesting. Whether it's supporters' trusts or, people that speak for the fans, whether it's Must or whoever, then they've got to be something where fans are given a say and it's like legally binding. So if fans vote it down, it doesn't happen. Or if fans approve it, then it happens, something like that. But it is interesting. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully that's not too far down the line, but I'm not going to hold my breath too much.
Yeah, the protest will start about 2:00 at Old Trafford if you want to get yourselves down there. What was you going to say? Sorry, Matt.
No, just touching on the comment there about transparency. I think that's across both teams for me. There's a lot of secrecy in the women's game.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we were touching on the men's protest, but I agree. Secrecy across the board needs to become more transparent. Like I say, both teams. Just give fans, I've been listening to a couple of podcasts this week, obviously women's game ones, and there's been so many people talking about, oh, well, we're going to sit down with our fans, or we've had Zoom calls with our fans, and we want to get this and want to get that. I'm thinking, Jesus, we're miles off that at United. The women, obviously, other clubs are doing it, and they wanted to get fans involved. It starts somewhere, and we can get like I say, get something with the men. You can get the women to just be a little bit more transparent and, make it bigger and better. Because listen, at the end of the day, the fans are the club. And in terms of the women, the fans can improve so much with ideas, attendances. Natalie's got tons of ideas for Barmy Army that, yeah, fans need to have a big say. But, yeah, just my thoughts. But like you said, 2:00, pal, get down there and make your voice heard.
Was John Foster watch this on playback or something, or 10 minutes, 15 minutes behind us?
I know.
He's now 4-0 for the women and 2-1 for the men. 2 wins. Thank you, John.
His Wi-Fi's worse than mine.
No, I just popped up there. I was talking about the protest. I was like, where's that come from?
That was half an hour ago, that, pal.
Right, I'm conscious of time as always. We have gone well over the hour mark, as per usual on this show. But anyway, some really good talking points tonight. Matt, what's coming up for the rest of the week anyway in terms of upcoming shows, pal?
I'm going to get the tweet out later. I need to have a chat with John. If he's not stuck back at 8:00 watching us. I need to have a chat with John about tomorrow for the time. He's having a break from his DJ set. Or is he DJing whilst catching up on playback? That could be it, you see.
Oh, I love it.
That explains.
That's a good one, Vic. That's a good one. I love it.
Why do you think you're his replacement on Uncut? The geezer's he's in Liverpool with these rave approved gigs now. Sorry, going off topic again. John is hosting tomorrow the pre-match preview. I'll get a time and I'll tweet that out on All for United. He's also doing the halftime show. Myself and Gareth are out on duty again. He's not happy. Started off as always, just playing the good idea. Gareth are out. Big one tomorrow for Charlie. Trophy time. Obviously, social media blackout. So if you want to watch that, he's on with Anthony. There we go. If you want to watch that, we'll be going live for the trophy lift down at the King Power. So that's tomorrow's agenda. 3 things: live show, pre-match, halftime show, and then around about 4 o'clock ish for the trophy lift. So busy day. And then Monday we're back with the match reaction. Tuesday, myself, Gareth, and John, we're going to look at a WSL sort of combined team of the year. So we're each going to pick 11. Might do subs, might not. Team of the year, pick 11 players and compare them. And just a general chit chat. So busy time. Tomorrow at some point we will get, like I say, a new schedule out. And also,
27. I don't think Ant's on this show, so picking the WSL team of the season combined.
I might have to pick his team for him because he missed the corker. I don't know if you saw Tuesday's show. We're in about Champions League.
I was in stitches for this one.
The comment was how many teams get Champions League, and I went 3, and he was like, no, it's 28. I don't know what it was adding up. As a whole, honestly, the guy's brilliant. So if you want to get on it, Anthony's hilarious. But like I say, replay schedule to go out. But get on it. 3 things tomorrow. And I know I keep banging on about the YouTube. Listen, we are nearly there. We're in touching distance. It's literally a case of the graphics and the visuals that we need to get together. But everyone that runs the whole channel HQ is mega busy, house moves and things. So bear with us. And I know I do say we're close. Literally, we've got all the old videos to upload as well, so that's taking time. But we've got we've got that done now. His face gets redder every week. I saw the picture on Twitter before of him playing football, and his face matched his boots. He had four shirts in the background, and me and Gareth are creased. But no, let's answering Anthony whilst he's not here to defend himself. I'll let you wrap it, pal. But like I say, that's what's coming up anyway. So 3 things tomorrow, and keep an eye on the socials.
Just as I said, just keep an eye on the socials because that trophy presentation that Matt's on about for Charlie Devlin, it's very, very pleasing to see an ex-OG21 player doing very, very well and winning trophies again, winning that championship again for the second time.
Deserves WSL, deserves a chance at it. Made up.
So anyway, we'll wrap it up then, Matt. I always say this every week, and people probably know now, but I'm going to wrap up because it's just the way we wrap things up round here. Where can people find you on the old socials, lad?
Here, Twitter. Do you know what? Maybe I should change my Twitter name, and you should for 1 week and see if it throws people.
I should do.
People know it. It's like, no, I might just change it this week. But on the old Twitter. Listen, there's obviously the social media blackout, so some people are on it, some are not. Whatever. If you're on it, you're on it. If you're not, you're not. We can always pick it up Tuesday. So that's where you can find me.
Absolutely, pal. And mine is on the screen as well. MUFC on the old Twitter. Benjamin Brazil, all one word or one thing. You know what I mean? On the old Instagram, and then my YouTube channel, which again I bang on about uploading videos. Uploaded that rant about the Glazers when that ESL stuff came out. So I've got one new video up on there, and I'm still playing around with the old trimming and the old fucking didgeridoos for the other 2. Mate, I don't know, mate. If only I was better at technology, mate, it would go a whole lot quicker. But Father, Sons and United on the old YouTube for myself. Good night, Marie. Good night.
For tuning in as well, everyone. Again, it's been as always, and the comments as well. Again, keeps us going.
Yeah, thank you very much to everybody that has been in the comments, that's got involved in tonight's show, and that has watched tonight's show. And we shall see you once again next week at the same time. So have a good night, rest of the Saturday night, people, and we shall see you next week. Take care.
Cheers. See you later.